All right, welcome to Talking Ball with Pat Leonard, a special episode today as Rich Funk, co-founder of Boom Chaga, joins us on the program. Boom Chaga, as you guys know, a sponsor of ours here on the Believe Network, and it is a natural extract loaded with anti-inflammatory, immune-boosting antioxidants and heart-healthy compounds. Now, if you're a listener or a loyal viewer, you've been hearing me say these words a lot talked NFL and talked Giants, but I figure it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what the co-founder thinks and what Rich knows about why this product is so special and why it's taking off. So, Rich, thank you so much for being here. I'm really thrilled we're able to do this on the show.
Yeah, Pat, thanks for having me, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to share with your loyal listeners, more about Boom Chaga and how it came to be.
Yeah, so I want to start off with a football-related Boom Chaga question. A lot of the viewers on Talking Ball, because of how bad the Giants have played this year, they've been suggesting to me maybe I need to bring a bag of Boom Chaga into the Giants locker room and hand out some samples. Now, that's tongue in cheek, but I actually feel like I get something out of it every morning. Like when I put it in my coffee, I get like a post-workout like energy boost is how it makes me feel.
Right.
But do you actually think there would be, a real benefit for a professional athlete, somebody who's taking care of their body like these guys do? What would be the benefits of a product like Boom Chaga?
Yeah, Pat, great question. So, some of you that have gone to boomchaga.com or followed us on social media, you've probably seen that we've done a couple things with pro athletes. One, we have Rondé Barber signed on as our spokesperson. Why Rondé? Because we're based just south of Tampa Bay. So we started off kind of organically where we're based to go and hit the local markets. He's a huge name down here, of course, being a Super Bowl champ and Hall of Famer for the Tampa Bay Bucks. Secondly, we're huge sponsors at FC Cincinnati. So they're a professional men's soccer team. We've done a couple events with them through the summer. We have a huge Thanksgiving Day 5K, 10K event that we're sponsoring. And why is that? Why sports? It's exactly what you're saying. We know that there's an impact in it, and that's because of the massive antioxidant power that's in every serving of Boom Chaga. Okay, each serving gives females more than 2/3 their daily antioxidant recommendation, and it gives guys more than half their daily antioxidants. And the particular antioxidant that's in here, it's a longer word called betulinic acid. It's a super anti-inflammatory. Okay, so when you're thinking about you're pushing yourself, whether it's in the gym like you and I might go to, or it's professional athletes, which you and I are not, and they're really stressing their bodies, they're stressing their joints, they're tearing those muscles and rebuilding them. There's a lot of inflammation that's happening around that, and the speed recovery time and the amount of power in these antioxidants to help fight off that inflammation that's going to last a little bit longer. It is a speedier recovery time. We've seen many testimonials of that, and I've heard from people that are athletes. In fact, we have a likelihood we're going to launch in India, if not by the end of this year, but next year. And we have professional cricket players there that are taking this now and saying the same thing, that they have more energy, they can recover faster. We have pickleball players up in New York that are playing up in Westchester, different pickleball indoor courts competitively, and they're saying the same thing, that they feel like they can play an extra day or two a week of pickleball versus before they're maybe playing two, because their joints were achy and their muscles were sore. So we're definitely seeing a number of examples where this is helping on general working out, mid-scale athlete like pickleballers or cricketers, as we would say in the U.S., or professional athletes in the U.S. as well.
How did you come about understanding, the benefits of the chaga mushroom? And then how did Boom Chaga get started? Like, when did you recognize the value of this product and become passionate about bringing it to the world?
Yeah, good question. So chaga mushroom, there's three classes of mushrooms. The kind
Okay.
to eat, the kind New York Giants fan will probably laugh the Jets fans about, that Aaron Rodgers goes off and does whatever to in a dark cave somewhere in Oregon, the psychedelics, right? And then you have the medicinal mushrooms. That's like cordyceps, turkey tail, reishi, lion's mane, and chaga. And chaga, this is a chunk of chaga right here. Okay, this is what it looks like. It's got the density of wood. It grows on living birch trees. And when you have birch trees up in northern New York, Maine, Vermont, northern Michigan, Wisconsin, Alaska, you'll see these big black fungus-looking things growing on the side of birch, and that's chaga. And it's called king of the medicinal mushrooms across all those other ones I just mentioned because it's loaded with these antioxidants, these other compounds called beta glucans. Okay, antioxidants. I've already shared what that does. It's a huge anti-inflammatory. It has some other positive benefits as well. And then the beta glucans are actually approved by the FDA to lower LDL, bad cholesterol. And they're also, because they're a soluble fiber, they're really good for gut health. We have a lot of testimonials about IBS, acid reflux, even diverticulitis pain subsiding. So that's what chaga does. Now, how did we come to Boom Chaga? Well, if you go off and you Google chaga or you look on Amazon or anywhere, you're going to see 1,000 ways to Sunday on how to deal with chaga. Sprinkle it on your food, sprinkle it in your coffee, boil it for 10 minutes, do this, do that, all these different ways. And my background is more technical. So I started asking the why questions and digging into, well, if this is chaga is so healthy, all these positive articles from around the world on all these great benefits, there's indigenous people that never get cancer taking it, all these crazy things out there. Why isn't it more prevalent? And I think it's like a lot of things, Pat, where a lot of companies say, oh, we know this is good. They just get it out there. They put it in a pill. They put it in a powder. They say, oh, it's kind of got a halo effect around it. But people haven't taken the time to really optimize it. And that's why we took 2.5 years of research and development. We hired a third-party lab out of Cambridge, Massachusetts, so some pretty wicked smart chemists, to help us realize what the benefits of chaga can be and optimize the heck out of those. And then there's also, like a lot of natural things, there's some things that you maybe don't want in your body. Like kale and spinach have a lot of oxalic acid in it.
Okay.
Chaga has a lot of oxalic acid in it. What is oxalic acid? Oxalic acid forms with calcium in your kidneys to cause a precipitate called a kidney stone. We are the only beverage, mushroom-based anything out there, including vegetable beverages, so smoothies and things like this. We are the only ones that remove 100% of the oxalic acid. So you have zero risk of any kidney issues. There's zero oxalates in our product. So, we've optimized all the good stuff, all those antioxidants and the beta glucans, and we've eliminated 100% of the oxalic acid. So that's a long-winded answer, but it tells you how we went from finding chaga, knowing what chaga is, knowing that there's these really healthy natural components to it, but then how do you optimize it and then also make sure that you're not, the more concentrated you make it, the higher that oxalic acid is in it. Make sure that you don't have that risk for people that want to consume it and get all the healthy benefits.
And why do you think that the popularity of Boom Chaga is increasing so rapidly? Like, is this just a matter of people being educated and understanding a new product? And then once they understand, and once you're traveling around the country and around the world explaining it to people, once they try it like me, then they understand and they get it and they use it? Is it that simple?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of education. We over-index on educating when we get into new retailers. I think it's once people try it, they realize the ease of it. It's liquid. It's no powders. It's no pills. A lot of the other mushroom stuff out there, and you look on our website, you'll see we compare ourselves to the top sellers on Amazon, and that's why we say bring your A game, because we know ours is very differentiated and a much better bang for your buck. We know that you'll feel a difference and see a difference. And if you don't, I tell people, get your blood work drawn. In 3 months, if your triglycerides aren't better, if your blood pressure isn't more stabilized, and if your LDL isn't down, then stop taking it. But that's the testimonials we see are across the board, that's all the positives. I think it's taken off because people are also looking for more natural healing. I think a lot of this started with COVID and lack of trust in COVID. And just the stories that were out there, people were trying to figure out what the future looks like. And we're actually seeing a growth in the industry of a lot more people are seeking out more natural health remedies. And I think with the power of the internet and research and all this, people are realizing there are a lot of things out there that are really good for you. It's just a matter of how you take those. And again, we made sure, knowing that we were making this super concentrated, we really wanted to get rid of the one risk, which is the oxalic acid. And we're the only ones that do that. We have patent on it. And that's part of what makes Boom Chaga special. It works. And we're making sure that people get educated on it. We're also innovating where we have some new packaging coming out. We're going to have more of the bottled teas. We do also sell it in select retailers around the country. We have, ready to drink, shelf stable bottled teas. We're going to have these all over the place. And in your neck of the woods, we'll have distribution on these by the end of the calendar year. So we
All
already get,
right.
you know, you get the package. You can get these, of course, online on Walmart.com, Amazon.com, on our website, at select health wellness stores in the greater Eastern PA, New York, New Jersey area now. And soon you'll have these up there as well.
You actually led me into my next question. Was as I now that we've had this relationship and I use the product now, and I was perusing the website the other day and recognizing there's a lot of different products you guys offer. I was just curious, like, what's the most popular? What are you most excited about? And what's rolling out ahead? It sounds like the teas are coming.
Yeah, the teas are definitely coming, and those are great because there's not a lot of the objective on the teas is twofold. One, convenience, because people want convenience, and maybe they look at this as more of a supplement. Maybe they're tired of pills, powders. It also takes them a while to realize this is a liquid, not a powder or another pill. So the teas are convenient, and they're different. There's not a lot of mushroom based drinks out there, which sounds strange or odd. People try the teas. It's funny, if I had a camera on my shoulder, looking at people's faces, like, "Oh, a mushroom tea," and then they drink it, like, "Oh, this tastes like tea." Well, great, we met the objective. um, and 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 that's why. And as you know, Pat, you take this. I put it in my coffee every day. I don't taste it. You put it in your coffee. You put it in something. The flavor dissipates so easily.
I
So
was
that's why
just
it's
going to
easy.
say that. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was going to say. I was expecting it to change the taste of the coffee and then have to, let's say, travel around the different drinks that I like to see what it mixed best with. And the first day I put it in my coffee and I drink it, I'm like, wait, did I put it in? That's how I felt.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits of it is the flavor dissipates quite easily. It does have an earthy, woody taste to it, as the mushroom would lead you to think. But when you put it into a coffee or a tea or your smoothie or your protein shake, you don't taste it at all. So it dissipates quite easily. So yeah, I think I'm most excited. I love hearing people's stories, how it changes their lives for the better. So I'm actually very passionate about the sachet, the packets, getting it into your daily routine. I travel a lot, as you know, and you travel a lot too. It's very easy to put these in a carry-on. I'm gone for 3 days, throw in 4 in case I get stuck a day, or throw in 5 in case I need a double dose or whatever.
Yep.
And then the teas are great because when you're dealing with retailers, the bigger the retailer, the more segmented they get in their what they call categories. So you'll have the frozen dessert area, right? You'll have frozen meals. You'll have fresh produce. So you get into these subcategories. Well, the packets clearly go into like the health wellness supplement area. The teas would go into grocery or functional beverages. If you think about it, it's very difficult to come up with brands that are healthy that land in multiple categories across the grocery store.
Interesting.
You
Yeah.
see behind me here, and I was telling you this before, I've got some NFL M&M packs and different things like M&Ms or you know uh, different sugary cereals. They travel well through the grocery store. You can have M&Ms and cookies. You can have M&Ms and ice cream. You can have M&Ms and brownies. You can have M&Ms at the checkout store or the checkout in the bulk area. So multiple places, a lot of sugary things exist throughout the store.
Yeah.
It's not easy to think of healthy brands that exist in multiple categories. And part of our overall strategy is the more categories we can get into. Do you eventually have Boom Chaga yogurt? Do you have Boom Chaga and protein shakes? Do you have the more you get that, then Boom Chaga becomes more of a name. It already has a catchy name as Boom Chaga, and we'll have some nice jingles coming along soon.
All right.
But it's just the more you can get people to take this, it changes their natural, healthy lifestyle, and you get it more easy for them to consume. If they eat their Greek yogurt every day, then maybe it's already put in their Greek yogurt. If they like their protein shakes that are pre-made, they can have it that way. There's a number of things we're working on as the next phase over the 25, 26, 27 of what the next innovations are for Boom Chaga. So we're in it for the long haul because we know it makes a difference, and we'll keep pushing that envelope.
Do you have any favorite testimonials? You said like that's your favorite part is to hear people saying how it changed their life or how it makes them feel better. Do any stand out to you like a top of mind that you feel like are most relatable to the average person for them to A, understand what it is, and then B, really recognize that this can make a difference?
Yeah, I'll kind of go through my just a few quickly. One, um, actually, Donna Drake had me on her show. She's up in Long Island, and she said that after 3 days she was down in her waistline, and then after 7 days she was down 2 dress sizes. Not
Wow.
changing diet, not exercising anything. And that was from bloating. That's the gut health issues as well as inflammation, right? So she had an impact in 3 days and then 7 days that she saw a noticeable difference. We had another lady who, ever since she had her first child, she had such bad acid reflux. She couldn't even drink a bottle of water because the air would hit the back of her throat and she would start to get heartburn. And she said within days of taking this, that's gone. She loves drinking a certain soda, and now she can drink that soda. It's like a little bit of pleasure she gets. So she's back to being able to spoil herself with her little sweet tooth, enjoying a soda that she wasn't able to do. And again, not even be able to drink a bottle of water because of the acid reflux. And then the third one, I'd say there's a guy who shared his. We've had a few, but this guy in particular, because he's pretty close to me. He's a consultant for me in the business. He started taking it and shared his blood work with me. And his LDL after 4.5 months, he gave me his 3 month work and then his 4.5 month. His LDL was very high. It was down more than 50%. He's now in the safe level of LDL, and his triglycerides are down 70%.
Wow.
And that's, he took it consistently daily. The first 3 months he shared it and the numbers are down. And then another 45 days later, he shared it. So 4.5 months in, he's not at risk of having some heart issues. And it's purely because of taking Boom Chaga daily. And it's not because we've done anything whimsically magical with Boom Chaga. It's just we've really isolated those healthy compounds and made sure that they're stable in a liquid format. And then we got rid of the bad stuff. So it sounds simple. It took a long time to get it right. And it's a very specific process. But there are a lot of answers in nature out there that, if you get rid of the side effects and you really optimize what those healthy compounds are, you should see a difference. And we definitely do with Boom Chaga.
So how do we get some Boom Chaga up to your Cincinnati Bengals? Because if I understand correctly, you are a football fan and the
Oh, yeah.
Bengals are your team. I know it's not going to change Joe Burrow's hair color back because that's what we want. It's not going to happen.
We all want
But yeah, the Bengals need something, right? Am I right?
Well, I think that so we can talk the Bengals for a little bit. So first off, my background, I lived in Cincinnati for my career for quite some time. So I grew up closer to Chicago, but we were pretty modest lifestyle. So going to a Bears game at Soldier Field was very expensive versus because the Bengals have been more like the Bungles for much of my life. When I lived in Cincinnati, it was very cheap to go to a Bengals game. Some people give the tickets away. So it was I've actually met people at Bengals games that come in from New York or come in from Chicago or come in from LA, and they're like, oh, it's cheaper for us to fly into here and get these great seats at the 50-yard line than it is to go to our home stadium,
That makes sense. That's more of an
Yeah,
indictment of the ticket prices here than of the
yeah,
Cincinnati one.
exactly. So, I think with the Bengals, it's unfortunate because they have some rare talent on the offensive side of the ball. But you play in the AFC North, and it gets cold for half the season in the AFC North. You know, the Steelers have Najee Harris. The Ravens went out. They already have a running quarterback. Then they went out and get, King Henry. And then the Browns have Nick Chubb. The Bengals, unless you're a Bengals fan, you can't name their running backs. They let Joe Mixon go because of pricing, and now he's doing great with the Texans, right? And it's always a gamble on running backs, but if you don't have a threat to run, I don't care if Burrow's completing 75% of his passes or 80% breaking records. Eventually, if Higgins is injured, as he has been for more than half the year, you're going to double team or triple team Chase, and you got some rookies or some no-name guys that are running routes, and you're just not. It's not going to work out. Okay.
No doubt.
And no matter how good your offensive line is, eventually there's going to be pressured when you're waiting for Chase to get open, or even Chase plus Higgins. So you've got to have that threat of a run, or you're just not going to win in the NFL. That's just on the offensive side. The defensive side, when the Bengals haven't had a balanced talent between the backs and the front, they run this typical, we're going to give you the 10, 15 yards if you execute. And if you watch the game against the Eagles, their DBs, they're down a dead sprint. They're not going to let you beat them. And there's an easy 10, 15, 12, 20-yard dump off. It's almost like, are you kidding me? Is this LSU or Alabama or Georgia playing a JUCO school? It was crazy just watching the backs and how open the Eagles were. And then the issue is the Eagles know how to run the ball too with Barkley and with Hurts. So to me, it was like, it got ugly quick. The Bengals defense, they got a couple good up front, but their linebackers to their backs are middle to lower class in the NFL. They just don't have the talent there. And they're just not going to, when they went to the Super Bowl, they had really good backs.
Yeah.
Those guys are number one corners or safety on other teams now, right? They had decent linebacker core and they had a decent one or two up front. And now all they have really, as far as if you look at just the analytics, they have a 1-2 good up front, middle, bottom of the row linebackers, and definitely bottom at the backs. So their defense is just porous.
Yeah.
And they've had a lot of injuries on the defensive line as well. So there's some forgiveness there because that happens. But every team deals with injuries. So it's as a fan that probably spends too much time thinking about this stuff. Speaking to your Giants fans that probably do the same thing and are kicking themselves every Monday or Tuesday morning, wasting those hours, but then they get ready. Hope is always right. So you're just coming back for it. That masochism.
That's exactly it. You're right back for more on Sunday. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about the run game for Cincinnati too, because that's another way to protect a bad defense, right?
Yeah,
Is to run the ball, keep the
Take
ball.
the
But
yeah.
man, what a breakdown by you. You could do my job, obviously. That's yeah, I hope Cincinnati turns it around because they are a fun team to watch with so much talent when they're in it. And also they're the only team who gives the Chiefs any problems in the playoffs. So if they're not in the playoffs, we're looking at a possible three-peat. We're gonna have to watch Kelsey and Taylor Swift up on the stage again. I don't think a lot of people would be able to stomach that. So so our viewers have heard me a lot say this. I'm gonna say it again, remind you guys. Boom Chaga Mushroom Super Drink, sponsor here with the Talking Ball with Pat Leonard podcast on the Believe Network. We are grateful to have this partnership. We met through the great Big Daddy, Rich Salgado, and very fortunate to connect with you, Rich. But Boom Chaga is a natural extract loaded with anti-inflammatory, immune-boosting antioxidants and heart-healthy compounds. As we talked about, you can easily pour this natural liquid supplement into any of your favorite drinks. I put mine in my coffee every morning and immediately feel the difference. I personally have felt a post-workout like energy boost with Boom. Chaga also has the ability to lower cholesterol, reduce inflammation, and improve immune and heart health with its beta-glucans and antioxidants. Go to boomchaga.com today to place your first order. And if you use the discount code TalkingBall25 or access it through the QR code on your screen, you'll get 25% off your first subscribe and save order. Right now, that means a month supply. Costs you only $30. Start feeling the difference today at boomchaga.com. Rich, we've talked a lot about what Chaga does, what Boom Chaga, what makes it different. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers and listeners who, by the way, a lot of them have already given me strong feedback on the product?
No, fantastic. Well, that's great to hear, Pat. I appreciate the partnership. Again, meeting you at the St. Jude, Children's Research Golf Outing, sponsored by Big Daddy. It's fantastic. I'm glad we're doing this. Hopefully, we can keep the success going and continue into a more successful 2025 for both of us on the football field. Huh?
That's right. Excited about that. And you had mentioned earlier. Could you remind everybody the Thanksgiving event that you guys are participating?
So Thanksgiving we'll be if you guys or enjoy jogging, jog wherever you're going to be out Thanksgiving. It's a great event. We're sponsoring FC Cincinnati, again, the men's pro soccer team there in Cincinnati. Everybody's that signs up for the race. There's going to be about 13,000 people in this race, 5K or 10K. They're each going to get a handful of these, some discount cards, and then we'll have the booth set up there at the end where everybody's going to be able to walk away and have some ice cold tea to help them to recover after the race. We're in a number of stores in greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, Dayton, that part of Southwest Ohio, Northern Kentucky, across Covington, Newport, and such. So, we hope to be not just there, but again, getting more involved eventually up in New York and Jersey, Philadelphia. We'll be all over the place come 2025. So look for Boom Chaga near you. If you guys are racers, think about us on Thanksgiving before you go and indulge. And remember, folks that have taken this have lost some inches. So maybe this is some preventive maintenance as you get into Thanksgiving and into Christmas. Get your Boom Chaga on and keep that weight off.
That's a great reminder. He is Rich Funk, co-founder of Boom Chaga, and it's boomchaga.com. Go there today. Thank you so much, Rich.
Thanks. Take care, Pat.